let's get this thing kicked off, though. I'll just edit out the front, and we can go from there. So, hey, what's going on, everybody? Joe Troyer here. Thanks to all of you guys that are joining us here live on this Google Hangout. Sorry, we're getting started just a couple of minutes late. Had some normal GoToWebinar, or I'm sorry, not GoToWebinar, Google Hangout tech issues, like usual. The point of today's call, though, is to go with you guys through a very simple 3-step process for closing SEO clients. So we're going to be going through this proposal. We're going to be letting you guys download this proposal, kind of talking about how it works, why it works, what are the most important elements, and how you guys can kind of get started with this right away. So we have 2 special guests on with us today. Number 1, we have Lane Bolin. Lane, you want to say hello?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
So, and then we have Byron Leon as well. Byron, you want to say what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys?
So, Lane, let's get right into it. If we will, let's talk about high level what it is that we're going to cover today. Obviously, once we get this video up in public, we'll be sharing the template for everybody so they can get out and use it. But let's real quick, high level, talk about what it is that we're going to be covering today, and then also after that, let's kind of go through your background a little bit and tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, boss. So what Byron and I have done at MatterInc is we've innovated a sales process that we call the 3-step close. And really it's 3 separate meetings that culminate with the proposal that we're going to share with everybody. The first 2 steps aren't exactly a proposal per se. In step 1, that's the interview where you're asking the business owner pointed questions about their business, such as, what offering is making them the most money, what offering makes them the least, who are their top 3 competitors, that they feel are their direct competitors, who in their space, in their direct market, is advertising offline, in order, because what we found is that that offline advertising translates into branded search in Google, which presents a very easy target for us. We call it brand jacking. But the whole point during that interview is again to ask those questions about the business owner's business, because everybody's favorite topic to talk about is themselves, and so that builds rapport, and it also gives you the keys, the blueprint, if you will, to sell them. You'll be able to see based on their answers, based on how they respond to you and what they're talking about, what it is that they want to see. I mean, there's nothing simpler than, okay, widgets are what he sells the most of and makes him the most profit. So obviously, we need to do a deep dive analysis into, the SEO widget market for West Palm Beach, Florida. So and what that leads into is what we call the golden question. And I'll say it really slowly so everybody can write it down. But that is, hey, Mr. Business Owner, whatever their name is, how would you like to see what your top 3 competitors are doing to profitably steal business from you? And you're tapping into anxiety, and that's a question that no business owner in his right mind is going to say no to. And so of course he's like, yeah, I want to see what my top 3 competitors are doing. And that leads us to step 2, which is what we call the competition analysis. And all you're doing is you're searching basically whatever products that he answered as his top offerings. For example, if it's a DUI lawyer and he's in West Palm, you're searching DUI lawyer West Palm Beach, or DUI lawyer South Florida, DUI lawyer Miami, whatever that market is, and finding through that search uses a little bit of professional judgment, but in that search find 3 to 5 guys. And what you're trying to show him is, 1, somebody who's killing it online, 2, somebody who's been penalized, and 3, somebody who is getting absolutely no results. And using tools like SEMrush or Ahrefs or Majestic or even Moz for that matter, you're painting the picture of what keyword, what his competitor is doing online in terms of SEO, and what he's doing in terms of paid traffic. And what that does is that creates social proof that, hey, those 3 competitors you told me that are making more money than you, well, this is why, because you're not you don't say that, but they deduct that the reason why that these three competitors are kicking their rear end is because they're killing it online and he's not. And you're also showing him an example of somebody being penalized and somebody getting nowhere in order to convince him, this is not a game for amateurs. Come to me. I know what I'm doing. I'll show you the way, right? So you're positioning yourself as the expert because you're sharing him information that he wants that he would have never been able to figure out himself, right? And at the same time, you're providing social proof that the internet does in fact drive business in his particular business, right? There are three reasons why somebody will ever say no to you. The first reason is they don't want what you have, which the step one interview, if they don't want what you have, you'll figure that out real quick, right? The second reason they'll say no to you is they don't believe you can deliver what it is they want. Step two positions you as that authority, positions you as that expert, and positions you as that partner that has provided them value in advance. So you've gotten over the credibility hump. So we come to the reason number three, which is they're broke. If they're broke, they can't do business with you. So that's why in step three, the proposal, which is what we're going to give these guys, essentially what you'll find. Can I share my screen? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'll do is here. Let me share my screen real quick. There we go. And here we are. Share. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the suite of proposals and looking at your standard SEO retainer. What you'll find is your clients or prospects, competitors, the keywords they're targeting are the keywords that you're going to have your guy target, right? And essentially what you're doing is you're tallying up the total search and applying a capture percentage of that search, somewhere between 2 and 37%. And if you need, to be fair, somewhere between 5 and 20% is appropriate, depending on the strength of the market and how good of an SEO you are. But the idea is you're taking the total market, search available, distilling that into traffic hits captured, applying a lead conversion percentage of anywhere from 5 to 20%. So again, you're what we call walking the dog from search available to likely traffic grabbed to likely leads grabbed, and then you ask him, Mr. Business Owner, what's your conversion rate on phone calls, right? And inevitably, everybody overestimates what their close ability is, and to be fair, somewhere between 25 and 50%. So anyway, you take those leads, and based on the close rate that they gave you, right, you get the clients. And then you ask him, all right, Mr. Business Owner, what's your average sale, right? And so he gives you your average sale, and then you simply multiply the forecasted new clients based on the conversion rate he gave you, and you're going to arrive at the forecasted traffic or forecasted revenue. So you are able to do what no SEO previously has been able to do, and that is to translate in terms that the business owner understands how search volume translates into money in his pocket. And you're using keywords that are provided by his competition, so they're valid, and you're using metrics provided by the business owner. And that's important because then he takes ownership of these numbers. This is no longer you saying, hey, I can drive you 25 grand in a month. It's him saying, my God, if I work with this guy, my business can add an extra 25 grand based on what I know about my competition.
Yep.
So, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Sorry, we used to do something very similar. If you can just pull that back up again real quick, Lane. I have just a couple quick questions for you. Basically, we used to do something very similar where we, jack all the keywords from SEMrush. When we were really big into SEO, this is what we would do, and it was very similar. And when you showed this to me originally, this is why I wanted to have you on, because it's something that, since we've been mostly in lead generation now and really high-end AdWords we're not doing that many SEO proposals anymore, and so this has kind of gotten lost. But a very similar structured proposal for us had always crushed it in the past. And so you've taken it a couple steps further in a couple different areas. And so I just want to kind of recap because you went through it really, really fast.
I'm sorry.
So it's okay. It's normal to you, right? But everybody watching this, I'm sure, has never done anything like this. So, I mean, really, step one, you need to do the, the interview with the client. You're going to find out their competition. Really, you need to find 3 to 5 guys that are doing well, right? I mean, you need to have somebody that's penalized, which I think is really cool, someone that's killing it, and somebody not getting any results. So I think that those are 3 things that we never really did. We always just went after people that were killing it. So I love those 2 other examples. So then I guess the next step would be those people that are killing it, we're going to go grab out all their keywords from SEMrush that they're going after organically and that they're going after paid. And we're going to put that in the left side of this thing here. And then, we're going to have the average monthly searches with the export, the CPC, and then the value as well.
Right.
Can you explain the value column? Is that just the searches?
Yeah, that's just
multiplied by the cost per click, or?
Yeah, that's average monthly search multiplied by the average cost per click. And you explain to the business owner that you will never get 100% of the keyword, but if you did, it would be worth this much to you monthly in marketing dollars.
Right. Yep. Cool. So you're kind of stacking against, what they would be paying if they were actually going after AdWords, which helps obviously bring up the value that you have and that you can provide by doing SEO services. So love that. I love then the other side. If we look down at the actual deal breakdown, how you went after annual revenue. So we used to always do monthly revenue, right, expected from, and we'd break down the conversion rate and everything in the leads.
Sure.
But we never did annual revenue, and I really love that because I think it's going to really help future pace when you're working with them that, hey, it's not, this isn't some pipe dream, this is reality.
Yeah.
And, that's one of the pieces that we never had in the proposal that I think is really valuable.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Well, take the average scenario that an SEO positions themselves in. They really don't have these numbers in front of them in a meeting. They just go into a meeting. They say, hey, $1,000, $1,500 a month. You might rank. Here's some sites I've ranked in the past, and that's really all they have for leverage. With this, you have the cost per click values. You have the value that you're going to provide. Everything's broken down in real world numbers, and it's plain as day. And then you save this file and you leave it with them, and they can look at it throughout the day, send it to their boss if you're talking to a marketing guy. It's a really valuable tool.
Hey Joe, something that I want to also add in is on top of building all that value, we also provide a guarantee to the business owner, a double their money back guarantee that just absolutely seals the deal because you're already a credible voice based on steps 1 and 2. You've gone through them. So when you're providing this guarantee to them, they know this isn't, this isn't some BS. Oh, I promise. That you are going to fulfill on it. What I'd like to do is next week, if you don't mind, I would like to do another webinar to teach these guys how to guarantee SEO, which it was previously unguaranteeable because nobody controls Google, right?
Definitely. Yeah, would love to have you on very, very soon. We'll see what everybody says once they start watching this, but I'm sure everybody's going to dig it and definitely going to want to have you on. So yes, the guarantee part is super sexy, and obviously nobody else in the marketplace is guaranteeing SEO. And obviously that's one of the prospects' biggest questions right out of the gate, and something that really helps you seal the deal because nobody else is really doing it, right?
No, sir.
And if they are doing it, they're doing it in a very sleazy way, right?
Right.
And it's somebody from India saying, hey, for $200 I can guarantee first page rankings, and then they're gone the next day as soon as you sign it.
I'll give you the world.
Yeah. And that's how you can show your client that, I run into clients all the time who they've seen those emails come through, $99 a month, India SEO, and I'm like, look, I got to break it down for you. This is a real guarantee, and this is just some pipe dream guarantee, totally different. So they can actually see a true guarantee.
Hey, Joe, can I walk you guys through a competition analysis that we did for a real world client?
Yeah, man. One thing I want to talk about too is obviously pricing. So I don't know where that fits in, but definitely want to talk about pricing. Once you build the value with your proposal the way that you do, obviously you're going to be able to charge a lot more because the prospect's really going to understand if all the numbers broken down and what this is actually worth to them. Our marketplace as a whole abuses the shit out of pricing and makes us all look bad because they all charge way too little money. So if we get just two things out of today's training call with everybody, I want to get number one, that they have a simple 3-step process for actually closing clients. That's fantastic. But number two is they need to start charging more money. Whenever I talk to a successful SEO, and by successful, I don't mean that they're doing 7 figures. I mean somebody that's brought on 5 to 10 clients, has some type of sales process, and is just doing SEO. Right? That's the first step. When they get to that, the next advice that I always give them is charge more money. Because I'm talking to them, and usually they're saying, yeah, I'm charging 500 or 400 bucks a month or 1,000 bucks a month, and it's just way too little. And I mean, one of the things that I always do, like I said, is tell them just to charge more money. And it's hard for me to get them to realize that. But once they do, their business overnight just explodes. So if we can get those two things covered, I think it'll be a really, really valuable training for everybody.
We at MadRank, I mean, everybody's business is different, and I'm going to fix this real quick. Just give me a second. What we do is we figure out, okay, we charge 10% of what the monthly recurring income is going to be off the campaign.
Okay.
So if in this case, in this theoretical case, if we're driving 25 grand in revenue, our fee is going to be $2,500. But what we do in order to, just as a negotiating tactic, is we charge them a monthly fee before ranking, right? So which is equal to 1 month's retainer, and then until we achieve, we achieve our forecasted results, i.e., we meet our guarantee, they're paying the half rate until we reach that guarantee. If that makes sense to you?
Yes, this makes perfect sense, and this is why I wanted you to bring it up too, because when we were talking about this earlier, this is just this is amazing. This part is what I love, right? Because you're at the point in the meeting with the prospect where it's like it's either pony up or shut up, and you get to kind of that awkward moment, right? Where it's like you're about to ask for your money, and you need some upfront money right away. You're kind of scared to ask for it, or most people are, but you need it in order to start getting them results. So I love this part. If you could just explain, again, it's 10% of the projected volume is what your retainer should be monthly, and then it's half of that. Is that right, for getting started until you hit the minimum?
Well, what we do is we charge the full rate in month 1.
Okay.
And that's just as a show of good faith, and it's also a negotiating trick. I mean, always ask for more than what you need. I mean, we would be happy to do this at half rate until we achieve our results, but always want to ask for just a slightly bit more for negotiating room.
Yep.
It's kind of an advanced tactic. So yeah, what we do is we figure out, okay, our monthly retainer, when this project is fully fulfilled, in this case, in this hypothetical case, it's $25,181 in revenue. We're going to charge $2,518 a month, and until we achieve our guarantee. Not achieve the rankings. You can never guarantee rankings, but I'm going to show you guys how we do our guarantee. But anyway, what I'm getting at is until we achieve our guarantee, so you guys need to show up to the next webinar, we're charging the half rate. So in this case, $1,259. And to be honest with you, this is a sanitized version of a CPA niche in Washington, D.C. And Byron, based on the competition, it was like what, DA20s, DA30s?
Yeah.
$1,200 for 6 months. That's a $7,200 budget. I think it's going to cost us no more than $3,000 to fulfill. So we're already money ahead.
Yep. So that was domain authority, obviously, for anybody that's newer to SEO. And you guys were just pulling those numbers from SEO Rush, or I'm sorry, Open Site Explorer, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think everybody's kind of got it, and if they don't, I don't think we need to spend any more immediate time just on this. If we could jump into that proposal and walk them through that example, I think everybody will start really connecting the dots.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the comp analysis we did for a certain Ford dealership in Southern California. And we always kick it off with the executive summary, which is nothing more than the so what. And we have this broken. This is all boilerplate. In the first paragraph, we're discussing what the big dog in the market is doing in layman's terms. And in the second paragraph, we're talking about what the rest of the competition that doesn't have their act together is doing. And then the third paragraph is our recommendation up front, right? Which is, basically, imitate the big dog and just do it marginally better than him to win. And then, so then what we do is we then kick off the competition analysis with the strongest competitor that they want to emulate. And we simply interpret the data for them. So this is the 30,000-foot view that Galpin Ford, which is the #1 dealer in the world, who happens to be in this guy's backyard, is sitting. He's ranking for over 1,000 keywords, generating over 24,000 hits per month, and that traffic is worth 117 grand if you bought all that traffic in PPC. And using professional judgment, we interpret the graph. It's like, look, this guy, much like you, not you, but I mean like you, the prospect, was doing amateur SEO and getting no results. And then he hired some pro SEO, and as you can see, he gradually got his act together. And you see this giant spike and a return back to normal levels. That's not a penalty. That's branded traffic from a radio campaign. We had to do some research to figure out if, to look at his past radio campaigns to figure that one out. So again, this is very non-technical. Anybody can do this. It's just explaining to the business owner that, look, your #1 guy, is sitting on, blank traffic worth blank dollars, and this is what we call the so what slide, right? And then we take it another step forward and we show him their top 5 keywords. In this case, two of Galpin Ford's top 5 keywords are their own brand name. I mean, they're doing a ton of TV and radio advertising, which opens up a brand jacking opportunity where the competition pays for your client's sales. They always love that. And again, this is just to show them, look, these are the top 5 keywords accounting for over 80% of his traffic. So this is the 80-20 rule slide.
Yep. And obviously these rankings are super easy to go after too.
Yeah, exactly. And so then we also do an analysis of their landing page. And the gist of this is, look, this #1 guy is wasting all this traffic because he's a moron and hasn't done proper conversion design optimization. And this slide achieves 2 points. One, it sets up your upsell. And 2, it makes the prospect feel good about himself that there is some weakness he can take advantage of in order to gain this payout.
Of course, everybody likes the dirt on their competitors, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then we finish it up with, okay, so here's the bottom, what we call the bottom line slide, where we take this straight from Open Site Explorer and we interpret again the data. It's like, look, he's got moderately, weekly moderate, Google domain strength and moderately strong relevance. The dude has a ton of links, and a 10-to-1 ratio. Basically, anything more than a 4-to-1 ratio is indicative of black hat SEO, unless they are just general, click here or branded links. In which case, that's the result of just some serious advertising. But the fact is, it's kind of a judgment call. I went back and I looked at his link profile and realized that, they're just a penalty waiting to happen. And so I let him know, hey, this is a penalty waiting to happen. But you need to be honest with the prospect here. Don't sell them false hope. All you're going to do is make your job harder for you when the deal actually closes. So so again, this is the, hey, here's the bottom line slide. And then we wrap it up with what his paid traffic strategies are. And again, we take the 20% of his keywords that account for 80% of his results, and what we find is this guy is using PPC to brand jack his competitors when they run advertising. And so what this tells me is they don't have a sophisticated SEO on staff. Otherwise, they'd simply organically rank assets for these keywords. But again, you want to interpret, hey, this is his paid traffic strategy that's complementing his SEO strategy, and this is what you're up against, the bottom line slide. So that's the #1 competitor. And then what we want to show him, what the cost of being cheap is. And so what we have here is a competitor, again, in his backyard that hires a black hat, gets some results, gets penalized, get some results, gets penalized, get some results, gets penalized. And to show him, look, your previous competitor who was doing quality SEO is sitting on 124,000. This guy's only getting 1.6. So this is the cost of being cheap. And so then we show him, look, that here is another example of a DIY SEO amateur who has a penalty coming. And again, you're showing him, look, this guy's seeing a rocket in traffic off of only 2 links, and I later found out that these are 301 redirects. This guy's going to get, this is black hat SEO, he's going to get penalized. Right? So again, we showed him what right looks like. Yeah, we kind of cheated here. We did a shortcut, but it is what it is. And then we showed him, somebody who hired amateur SEO, and then we showed him a do-it-yourselfer, and then we finish it with a pro tip, which is what we call we tell them about brand jacking. We show them that the offline advertising that they're doing is not driving direct response. What it's doing is it's driving people to Google. And you don't own a Google keyword just because your name is the search term, and you show them how through quality SEO you can rank assets that will forever sap your competitor's advertising budget. And you show them a live example. In this case, if you Google Shawnee Mission Hyundai, you'll see my client Northtown sitting at position 4, taking 10% of the traffic driven by Shawnee Mission's advertising. And in this case, Shawnee Mission is driving they're spending about 120 grand a month, and so that means Northtown's getting 12 grand worth of advertising free each month because of what I did for them. But again, so if you need to I highly recommend you set up your own brand jacking example. But if you don't have an example, just delete this bullet, because I'm going to include this. I'm going to include this competition analysis in the download package, as well as a list of starter questions for step 1, so that your people, Joe, can take this and execute immediately.
So why don't we give them a quick example of, or a couple quick examples of brand jacking?
Okay.
Let me just take the screen real quick, and I can just show them an example that they should all be familiar with.
Sure.
And it's an example that we use SynWire for. So I mean, anybody that's got SynWire, this is the exact same process that we use. This is all step by step. I've taught you guys this a million times. And so there's no reason that you can't use this exact case study, and you guys can't replicate the results. So the company name here is Klein Home Exteriors and Restoration. So you can see here's their money site ranking at #1. The second result is ours, third result is ours, fifth result is ours, seventh result is ours, and the #9 spot is ours as well. So right, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 10 listings are ours. I mean, we essentially control more than the person that owns that company.
That's awesome.
So I mean, you guys can all do that, with SynWire and all the training that's obviously in SynWire. Almost all of you guys have SynWire, so that's just a freebie that will help you guys get the results for literally almost nothing.
Yes, sir.
Cool. So cool. I love that the brand jacking. I think that's an awesome way to end kind of that presentation, and something that's easy as well, and that I think can get the prospect, once they sign on board, a bunch of results very, very quickly, right? They go and do the searches that you tell them to go do, and it's like, look, we're already, overtaking Klein here on the search results, and tomorrow I'm going to start going after competitor #2 and competitor #3, while you're working on the bigger, more competitive stuff, that'll give them something to look at and be happy about.
We do end after showing them that brand jacking example. We have what we call the golden question that I teach my guys, and that is to ask the business owner, whatever their name is, how would you like to see a plan designed to outperform the number one competitor's name? And they're going to say, absolutely, yeah, I want to see that plan. You didn't use the word proposal. Again, you're couching your proposal as additional value you're providing for free.
Yep. Yep. And nobody does that. Everybody says, oh, you want a proposal? And then buzzkill.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to be sold. Everybody likes to buy. So by following these steps and strictly adhering to the process, when you get to the end of the plan and you're asking the guy for money, he doesn't realize he just walked into a proposal.
Exactly.
It doesn't feel like a proposal. He feels like a willing participant, a partner, if you will.
Yep. Cool. So can we walk through the whole thing high level one more time just to make sure everybody's got the pieces together?
Sure. So it begins with, in fact, I'm going to include, here, let me pull up B&I Bomber for you here. Here, first call talking points. This is what I'm going to provide you guys. And so I've kind of scripted this out for your people, but
okay.
The bottom line here is you're asking them really three questions. What product or service of your account accounts for the majority of annual revenue? Who in general is purchasing your product, and could you please elaborate on their demographics? And then lastly, who are the top 3 competitors? So really, I mean, this script is designed for a cold contact, but the point is, all you need to do is to get these 3 questions answered, and you can go to a comp analysis.
Okay, cool.
And the script is also designed for if you get any rebuttals. But
okay.
Yeah.
So what's the pitch from the interview to the comp analysis?
Okay, so
you ask them the questions, and then let's talk about verbiage here for a second, or your wording that you're using.
Okay, so basically what you're calling to say is, would you like to see a detailed analysis of how your competition is profitably taking business from you? And they'll say yes. And then you'll say, okay, great. In order to perform that, I need to ask you these questions. Now, if they say no, you say, basically something along the lines of I understand that you're busy, or you reiterate the excuse they give you. We're offering this to you because of your interest in, whatever it was. Whether they responded to your LinkedIn or they answered your phone call, whatever. And you say, look, this has initially alerted us to your market, and we are keen to pick up a client in your space. So as a courtesy, we're giving you first right of refusal to this confidential and exclusive competition analysis before offering it to the other participants in your market. Are you still, and then you reiterate whatever excuse they give you, to seize this opportunity to take an in-depth look at how your competitors are profitably seizing market share from you? And boom. So if they say no, then you realize that honestly this guy is really too busy, or he's just brain dead. But so I mean, this is a cold call script. I'll include the I'll include the warm contact script as well. But this sets up step 1, and step 1 is accomplished with these 3 questions.
Okay, cool. So and then the comp analysis is obviously what we just showed them.
Right. The this right here, and this is the template for you. In fact, this is an example, and I'll even include the template for you. Let me pull it up. Let's see, comp analysis. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. It's not proposals. There it is. It's right in front of me. So then we have a template that gives you instruction. Let me see if this is the right one. If it's not, then okay, yeah, don't worry about it. So I'll provide you the blank one. But yeah, so it'll look something like this. Your cover sheet, your executive summary, your what we call the big dog, the guy that's killing it. Provide him an example of somebody that is using amateur SEO, and then show him an example of somebody that's doing it themselves, as well as examples of everybody they cited as their competition, and then wrap it up with the pro tip about brandjacking, and close it out with the critical question: do you want to see a profitable and accountable campaign design to replicate the big dog success with or without relying on the brandjacking? And they're going to say, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
And so then that sets up the proposal, where you use the keywords from the guy that's killing it. If you want to be real high speed, use a composite of every competitor's targets, because sometimes the lesser guys are targeting low hanging fruit, long tail stuff that the guy that's killing it hasn't put any resources into. But create a composite list of all the keywords, and then simply assign a traffic capture percentage. And I'll tell you right now, 36% of the traffic goes to step 1. I believe 12% goes to step, or 14% goes to step 2, 9.5% goes to step 3, and so on and so forth. I mean, there's a bunch of studies done. Just assign something conservative that you're comfortable with, and then a comfortable lead conversion percentage. If you're start low, and that way you can say, after you're done getting him sold on the deal, you can say, look, if you take this conversion design optimization package, we can improve your results to 10, 15%. Historically, what I've seen in niches where the product or service is a commodity, meaning it's a very short sales cycle, somebody's going to Google to buy immediately. Does it work in the car business? No. Does it work for plumbers? Yes. Does it work for DUI lawyers? Yes. So what I found is that a lot of my commodity type SEO clients are converting upwards of 20% on organic traffic, because the person is searching a problem term, for example, DUI lawyer Kansas City, and they're clicking on a DUI lawyer Kansas City. When you're pulled over, and the cherries are going off behind you, and you go to your phone to find a lawyer, the first good credible lawyer you find is usually going to be the guy that you call, because you don't have any time to waste. So what I'm saying is there's a lot of nuance involved in the lead conversion percentage, and so use your best professional judgment there. But the two metrics that you get from the client that you do not dictate, in fact, you leave these blank going into the meeting, and you ask him, okay, sir, on a qualified phone call, how many does it take before you to get a sale, right? And so then you write that in, and you say, okay, what's your average sale? And then they give it to you, right? And the proposal automatically calculates for you what the lead value is worth,
right?
And for example, which is the average revenue multiplied by the conversion rate. But more importantly, it calculates monthly income, the annual, as well as the ROI, and it automatically spits out for you the fee that you're going to charge based on the economics of this deal, and what your half rate is going to be until you've achieved the guarantee.
I love that half rate too, because, like I said, gets you in the door quickly, gets you making some money right away, and also gives the client a whole lot of trust in you, the provider, that that you have the best interest at heart too, because you're working towards something, right? Like, you have something to gain once they get the results that you're talking about.
That's right.
So love that piece of it. Cool. So we're gonna give them all the talking points and everything, the scripts for the interview, and then we'll give them one of the comp analysis and the instructions, and then the proposal obviously as well. So you guys are going to get everything. So just look for it down below. There'll be instructions, and we'll make sure that everything's laid out step by step by step, so you guys can use this, and just copy this. When I was doing this worked like gangbusters, and I didn't have a bunch of the ninja stuff in it that you guys do. So this is going to work really, really well. I mean, you guys have really taken it and flipped the whole thing on its head and added in so many discrete little, ninja tricks, if you will, to ensure that the prospect is just ready to hand you money by the time you walk through this. Let's talk for a second. Let's kind of back up and look at the process high level. I mean, obviously, you guys have done this for yourselves. You guys have taught other people how to do this. What's a common conversion rate? Okay, if somebody is brand new to this and doing it, and let's say that they have 3 to 5 or 3 to 10 warm prospects, what should they be thinking about in their head? How many of those can I get? Like, what's the game plan?
The conversion rate ranges anywhere from 50 to 75%. And ask any one of my direct students. I mean, Byron and I are operating in the 80 to 90% range. But what I'm saying is, a general practitioner who just picks up the system and finds a qualified lead who owns a business that can benefit from SEO and is already a profitable business. Using the system, what I found through the data of people that have taken this from me and reported results back, we're looking at about a 50% close rate.
Okay, so 50% of the people that you interview and say yes to the comp analysis, just to be clear, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So they say yes, you make sure that they're qualified, they're good to go. Of those yeses, you're going to close roughly 50% if you're new to the system. And once you start really knocking it out, get good at this, you can actually, look for even a higher converting number.
And what I found is when you slap a guarantee on that proposal, and then you show technically how you're going to fill that guarantee in no uncertain terms, the business owner at that point, the close rate starts reaching close to 100%.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that guarantee that you have is super, super slick.
Yeah, Byron and I don't know very often.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else that you guys really want to touch on? Obviously, we need to do a follow-up, but I want to get this in everybody's hands so they can start going through the process. They can all close some deals, and then we need to have a follow-up call to go over the guarantee and the last bit of the closing, how they can really get that closing up. But is there anything else specific, Lane, that you really want to make sure that we cover for everybody else?
Yeah, Joe, I get the question a lot, will this work for me in whatever town? The answer is, there are over 50 cities in the United States that have populations large enough that can support an SEO strategy. There are over 15 in the UK. There are over 15 in Canada. There's at least 10 in Australia, right? That's just the English-speaking market, right? So that's 50 plus 30 plus 10, so that's 90, right? There's over 100 niches we're aware of that SEO, whether a retainer or PPL, will work for. So that's really 9,000 available clients, and then there's 10 spots on first page. So really, there are over 900,000 available clients out there that need to be serviced, right? And so the real question is, do you need to be face to face with the business owner for this to work? And the answer is no. Yeah, my sales exclusively are all over GoToWebinar, just like what we're doing right now on Hangout, walking them through the comp analysis, walking them through the proposal, and then sending it to them to digitally sign, like during the meeting. Get the money now. Here's your invoice. Go. So this is set up to be done on location. I mean, on vacation, for the love of God. So to say I live in Podunk, Nebraska is not an excuse. Just get on the phone, start prospecting, work the system.
So on the next call, then obviously we're going to talk about how to form the guarantee and what you guys have tried, how you guys are crushing it with what you guys are using right now for the guarantee. But I know that you have a bunch of case studies of successful closes and stuff as well. So let's make sure that we pull in some of those onto that next call for everybody, because nobody loves seeing a deal closed. Everybody loves that. I mean, like, that's the holy grail.
My favorite are two DUI lawyers in Phoenix that so about halfway through the hour-long meeting, we get to the close, and they proceed to give every single objection you can think of to man. And so what I'm getting at is if you want to watch like a master class in how to overcome objections, just fast forward that video to minute 30 and hit play.
Cool. So we'll make sure we give them those resources too. I mean, everybody's loves watching those deals come to formation,
Sure.
and I think that's got a lot of those examples. So that would be awesome to share with everybody.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Cool. Well, thank you guys both, Byron, for coming on. I appreciate it. Let's chat after this. Let's get the second date all set up for the next one. And we'll invite everybody on and come hang out with us, answer everybody's questions live, take them through, the guarantee, and then all those example closes as well, so we can walk through all the rebuttals and how to handle them and
Sure.
just how to end up closing that deal. I want to put you on the spot a little bit, though.
Sure.
I want to do something cool. So before we have the next training,
All right.
I want somebody or multiple people to go out and close some fucking deals with this.
Okay.
Okay, so let's. What can we do for those people that end up closing a deal? Okay, so I'm sorry. I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, hey.
I'm happy to throw in too. But if there's one thing that I love is my customers getting results. So I want to do something for them so that everybody can see, like, just with what we shared with them today, they can go and get clients, right? And what we share with them on the next one is just even more insane, right?
So I'll take it a step further. The first 5 of your customers that get a qualified prospect that's asking for a comp analysis, I will co-pilot the thing all the way through step 3 to the close.
Okay.
And my build the documents.
Awesome. So the first 5 people, all that they got to do is get a lead, go through the interview, right? We'll give you guys all the script and get them to say yes to the comp analysis. And guys, Lane is going to walk through the deal and help you guys cose the deal.
Yeah, I'll do it for you if I have to.
All right. So we're going to pull on some successful closes. Sorry, Byron, I cut you off, buddy.
Oh, I was gonna say, I mean, he's a beast with those, so I'm prepared to have some money in your pocket. So
I know, I saw those. I saw a couple of them already, so I'm excited to get this out to everybody. So we'll put instructions down below the video on how they can claim that as well for those first 5.
Hey, Joe, can I interject real quick?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
For all those guys that are thinking to themselves, "Oh, I'm not in the right position. I'm not in the right time. I can't devote enough time to this." I'm going to tell you right now. I founded my business in between combat patrols in Iraq. It takes all of 15 minutes to make one of these phone calls.
Yep.
Get that qualified lead. I'll walk you through it.
And if you don't have the balls to cold call someone, call the people that you know that have businesses.
Yeah.
Uncle Larry's friend that owns the AC repair company. It doesn't freaking matter. Just get somebody on that comp analysis, right? Just get off your ass and make a couple of phone calls.
I tell you what, Joe, I'm going to throw in one more thing for these guys, just so we can get 5 people that are prepared. Byron and I use a templated email that we also have adapted to Facebook and LinkedIn. That basically asks, hey, how would you like to see what your top 3 competitors are doing to profitably steal business from you in a very professional manner? All you got to do is swap the name and the brand and run it.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. That'll definitely help. So even the people that are scared of getting on the phone don't have an excuse. So, right, first 5 of you guys that can get a yes to the comp analysis, Lane will help take you through the entire deal step by step.
All you got to do is get answers to those questions, whether it's by phone or email. I don't care.
Okay, guys, so follow the instructions right below this video, and you're going to get the whole system laid out for you. Just follow it, and as soon as you get the comp analysis, let us know. There'll be instructions there on how to claim that. So the first 5 of you guys are going to get the entire deal flow walkthrough and build out, if you will, taking you step by step through the whole thing. So thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. And if you will, just stick on here right after this, and we'll chat about when we're going to do the next hangout for everybody.
Yep, thank you, man.
All right, see you guys.
See you.